love me? Why won't you love me? It just doesn't matter to me anymore what people think. Hey, what's up guys? This is Em and I am a YouTuber. I talk about all kinds of different exotic animals. I want to share with you my big, beautiful cockroaches. Cockroach love! He is a giant Madagascan hissing cockroach. They always just fascinated me, and I'd spend a lot of time just catching them and bringing them home. It just became a passion and a way of life for me to actually be around these creatures all the time.
Oh my god, yes!
A lot of the animals I try and rescue because plenty of people these days, they really want to go for exotic creatures and then they don't know how to look after them or they get bored, and then there's not many rescues that you can take exotic creatures to, so I can make a difference by teaching people. Maybe then the next generation will actually want to look after the native habitat to these animals too. Total disgust. So most people think it's like an attention-seeking thing. Oh yeah, of course this girl wants to be seen holding cockroaches because it's different, but I will hold anything and everything. If it's cute and cuddly, brilliant. If it's small and creepy, then I'm cool with that too. I just can't get enough of them. I think they're such a brilliant pet. The weirdest thing is the most gross comments come from me holding my giant snail, Shrek. Oh, you know, they want me to put it in certain places, or they wonder if it's slimy because of X, Y, or Z. It's always something sexual. And to me, I'm just thinking, you know, people can say whatever they want about me, but if that's the kind of thing that's in their mind, I can't help them with that. Like, no amount of animals is gonna help those kind of people. I have two cockroaches over here. This one over here is a slightly larger one. That one's peanut butter, and this one is jelly. They're both males. You can tell they're both males because they've got these beautiful thoracic humps just up here. The males will use them to throw their weight around and to prove which one is more dominant, and then the more dominant ones get to mate with the females. Well, I think in typical city apartments, you're looking at pest species and they reproduce at an alarming rate, whereas these ones, they are very slow, very docile. If they were to get loose here in the UK, they would never be able to actually sustain themselves in the wild because they need heat to survive. They have quite a few nymphs if they're females. It's kind of fascinating and also kind of gross, almost like wet rice pouring out of their butt. The reason why they are called the Madagascan hissing cockroach is because if they're scared or pestered, they can make a hissing sound. Let me see if I can just get him to demonstrate that for you. There we go. Do you hear that? It's kind of like maracas. They have these tiny little holes all over their exoskeleton. They're called spiracles. And when they are agitated, they can force air out through those spiracles, and that's what really makes that s sound. I was in a movie a long time ago. You may have heard of it. It's called the Human Centipede. People get stitched mouth to anus, mouth to anus, mouth to anus. Beautiful, it's about teamwork. I played a girl called Kim, and she is the derriere, the very back. Poor Kim. I just fell in love with centipedes. Now, they are not for the faint-hearted. You do not want to get bitten by a centipede. No, like people have been killed by centipedes in the past, and so I had a beautiful scolopendra, which is another name for centipedes. She was evil, but she was phenomenal. I actually used to feed her hissing cockroaches. Once she injected her venom, they would practically liquefy from the inside out. It's horrible, but you know, she had to eat, you know, what was appropriate to her diet, and it was just unfortunately it was cockroaches. If you have something that looks like a dried up spider at home, that is literally the exoskeleton. And what happens is, if my hand was a spider, they go over on their back like this for a whole day. It looks like they're dead, but then they are just getting their energy up. Then they just like break down the middle, split open, and their new bigger body crawls out, leaving the old one behind. So whenever I see people going like, yes, that means the spider's dead, I'm like, nah, it's just bigger next time you see it. I think a lot of people as youngsters, you have your parents going, ew, wash your hands, don't touch that, and anything that crawls or is found on the floor is dirty and wrong and gross and shouldn't be there, whereas they're not as dirty at least this species anyway, as a person's phone that is substantially more dirty than a cockroach. People are taught to fear them, and they're taught that they're disgusting, but actually a lot of insects and a lot of invertebrates are key to our survival here on Earth. Like, look at the bees. Without the bees, we wouldn't even be here. Even if something is really small, it can have a mega significance on our existence too.